Kimmy, show me your plants, please.
Okay, wait for me.
Yeah, cool. I'll get you when you come back. How's your plant?
Yeah,
Show me.
this is the one with sunlight and water,
Cool.
and this with the one with sunlight and salt water.
Yeah, okay. And in the dark, is there one?
Wait, please.
Oh, it's still in the dark. We have to go find it in the dark because it's hiding.
Yeah,
This is fun. We're going on a walk with Kimmy.
yeah.
Oh, cool. Oh, good stuff. Right, good. Cool. Thank you very much, Kimmy. So you're getting the results that we expected to see. Okay, good job. So to explain to you all again, everyone, the whole point of this experiment was to see how abiotic factors change. Now we're going to come and start talking about what happens when ecosystems change. And one of the changes to ecosystems is how biotic factors can change living organisms in that ecosystem and what they do as a result. So the whole point of this experiment was to get to this point. You know, you just have to wait a couple of days. Okay. What we'll do tomorrow is we'll finish up the experiment with some final thoughts and conclusions with those that have plants. So anyone who has grown their plants at all, okay, tomorrow, please make sure to bring them to class. And what we'll do is we'll get you to share so that anyone who had to throw their plants away or anyone who didn't get a chance to grow anything because they didn't have the correct seeds, we'll talk about it tomorrow. Okay? Right, let's get started. Okay, so thank you everyone who finished your homework and got it complete. Let's review it now, please, and get this moved on so we can move on to something else. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about changing ecosystems and what happens when ecosystems start to change. Now, plants that you were growing are really, really good examples to show how ecosystems can actually change. What we did is we have a regular ecosystem that was the normal plant and sunlight. We have a changed ecosystem, maybe by pollution, which was the adding of juice to the plant. And then we have another one where the system is dark. Sorry, yes, Hacker, thanks for shouting out. I don't know what was that for. But what happened, what basically, they're examples of ecosystems and the way ecosystems can change. So if you look at this picture, there's a change in ecosystem. Who can tell me what change in ecosystem that they can see? Oh, look at the picture. How is the ecosystem changing?
One is have a lot of water and one is not many water.
Yeah, so in one there's lots of water and then the water just disappears. Zoe, how do you think this changes the ecosystem?
I think because the sun was shine too much, so the water
Will disappear. So
yeah.
why do you do you think that will change the ecosystem?
It will make the fish space to live more smaller.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So Trixie, what do you think happens when the fish in the area have a smaller place to live? What do you think happens?
I think that they won't have enough places to find shelter to rest in, and
It died, basically. Yeah. So let me ask this question then. Do you think that, Baldy, let me ask you this question. Do you think it is a completely new ecosystem? Yes or no?
This is not a completely new ecosystem.
Why? What do you think?
It's still a river, but the amount of water has changed.
Okay. And Kimmy, do you think the new ecosystem is as good as the old one, or is it just different?
Can you
No.
say again?
Yeah. Okay. So this new, this there's less water now. Okay. So the fish have less place to live. Is the new ecosystem better or worse than the old ecosystem?
Worse.
Worse. Why? Why do you think worse?
Fish. Fish. Mhm.
I get what you're saying. They don't have enough space to live. So what I want you all to understand is that the idea of an ecosystem being better or worse, it depends. So what we're going to look at is how different plants, organisms, animals adapt to these different situations. Okay, if you take this, the fish have less place to live, but imagine the eagle that eats the fish don't have to look as hard for fish anymore. So the eagle survives better. Changing ecosystems and animals that change as a result happen all the time, and this is what we're going to look at. So what we want to do first is to understand that the abiotic factors of an ecosystem can change, and then there's a chance that the ecosystem will change as well. So can you think of an example of this? When's a time when an abiotic factor makes an ecosystem change? Here's a really, really simple one, okay? As the Earth goes around the sun, what happens? Okay, what happens when the Earth goes around the sun? What happens to the Earth?
The earth sunlight.
Okay, yeah, well, there's 4 of them. What do we call them? And what do we call these times of the year? Well, they have a name, Baldy.
Seasons.
Seasons, right? Seasons are a simple example of how different abiotic factors change ecosystems. Think about a forest, right? A forest in the middle of summer, it's green, there's lots of trees, everything's really bright and colorful. In winter, there's no sunlight, so the ecosystem has to change. You take ice caps, right? Earth being heated up is causing all these ice caps to melt, which rises water in areas and also brings up the temperature of the world. These happen all the time. So we don't have time to do this. So ecosystems can change naturally, okay? One is which we think about weather and think about seasons. These things happen. They don't have, we can't stop them, right? Lightning storms, drought, flood, hurricane, forest fires, tsunamis, coronavirus. All of these things change an ecosystem in some way, right? They're all natural. There's nothing that we can do. Man-made things, things that we have done, buildings, farming, pollution, all of these things would change an ecosystem. If you were to think about Hanoi, maybe about 100 years ago, do you think you saw buildings everywhere? No, you saw farms, you saw flat land. You didn't see people living in apartments, you didn't see people living in houses. This is a human-made thing. We changed their ecosystem. So what I need you to do is to think about those two sides, okay? So for your homework, what I want you to do is think about this question. Ecosystems are changing all the time. Whether an abiotic factor changes or if a biotic factor changes, they are always moving and evolving. What do biotic factors need to do in order to survive? So here to think about biotic factors changing. Think about the weather. Think about temperature. Biotic factors. Too much fish, not enough fish. Think about how this will change the way animals survive. So does everyone understand what they need to do? What I want you to do is choose an animal that changes its behavior. So think about a bear, right? Bear will hibernate when it's winter. It just goes to sleep. That's an example. So think of an example of an animal that does this and what they do. We understand? It changes its behavior and the ecosystem changes. Any questions? Okay, I'll give you an example in the homework as well, so you've got something to work from. Okay, everyone. All right, bye bye. I'll talk to you later. Okay. Have a good day.